Hey, can y'all see me? Okay. I am so excited. It's Timotha Lanae, y'all, and I'm here. And actually, I wanted to chat with y'all while I was doing some herbs. I can show you how I do my herb setup while I talk with you all about sea moss for skin because I'm working on putting together like a skin challenge for glowing skin using sea moss because some of you all know that I have used sea moss over the past 3 I'd say, for better skin, my skin tone to improve my overall health. I've used sea moss. So I wanted to do like a sea moss skin challenge. So let me know in the chat if you all are interested in doing like a 21 day, 28 day, I'm thinking 21 day sea moss skin challenge and just kind of like doing it together as a community for motivation and to stay committed to it. But there's so many benefits to sea moss and I use it. I've been recently using like sea moss powder because I need to make the gel, but I really like sea moss powder. I was first introduced to sea moss from Dr. Sebi using his bromide plus powder. I used that all through my pregnancy and that really helped keep my iron levels up and stuff like that. But now I've been using, you can't get the bromide plus on his website anymore. So luckily Derek product came out with the sea moss powder. If you don't want to make your own sea moss, you can use Derek products sea moss powder if you don't have time to make the gel. So I've been getting it through Derek products since a long time ago. It's Dr. Sebi's website. They were always sold out of the bromide plus. Let me know in the chat if you all have had that issue as well, because I was trying to get it and couldn't get it for a long time. But let me turn on this chat. Let me see if I can see y'all. Talk to me, shout me out in the chat. Let me know if you're here. Let me know where you're from, what you're doing. But so I want to talk about just the benefits of skin, sea moss and skin. I suffered from terrible cystic acne, I guess you would call it. It's that acne that is very tender. And oh, hey, Cherry, Cherry Hassett. Am I saying your last name right? Hassett. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. But I suffer from cystic acne since I was a child. Oh, okay, I said it right. Thanks. And so it was just cystic acne is like those deep acne that just hurts when you touch it. It's tender. And oh, sweet angel, oh, South Carolina. Nice. I love down south. My southern people. I have a lot of family from Louisiana and then family from Missouri and Kansas City and stuff. So southern folk, love y'all. But yeah, so what I noticed after I had Trinidad. Yes, Trinidad. We actually went through Trinidad one time when I was on tour, because some of you all might know I'm a performer, singer, and the tour was going through, it was like, it stopped, like we had to transfer through Trinidad. So I kind of got to see your area. But with the cystic acne, what it does is it leaves really deep scarring. First of all, right now, you see I don't have any of the dark, like blackhead scars. For years, y'all, I could not leave the house. Well, I could, but I didn't leave the house without any type, like thick foundation, because I had so many blackhead scars just everywhere. It was just like, looked like a checkerboard or something. It was crazy. I was so just embarrassed about my skin. And so after I started changing my diet, eating more whole foods, eliminating sugar and processed foods and just eating healthier. But then also what I did is when I started to add in like sea moss and doing like sea moss masks and stuff using sea moss gel, that really helped to even out my skin tone and really helped to plump out the scars that I got, because I got a lot of atrophic scars that were really deep indentations all over my face. So that helped to plump those out. And so I had stopped taking sea moss for a little bit just to give myself a break, because one thing you need to know about sea moss, it has so many minerals. It's so good for you. But one thing is you do need to pay attention to if you don't want to take too much. Some people are taking like 3 tablespoons of sea moss a day. You don't want to take too much for too long because it has a high iodine content, which can start to become toxic if you build it up in your system too much. And also your skin is your largest organ, so putting it on your skin, you're still absorbing the iodine and stuff like that. So I did take a little break because I was every single day 1 to 3 tablespoons at first for like literally like a year and a half, and so I needed a break. And so now my body wants sea moss again. And if you when I say wants sea moss, the way that I figure it out is through doing muscle response testing, and I talk about that a lot now. That's what I use to see what my body wants, and it's just using something called applied kinesiology, which uses your body's energy to see, using your muscle reflex response. You would take, like say this is sea moss powder, you take that, hold it in your hand, and then you'd have somebody who knows how to test and do the right pressure. You just resist a little bit, and when you're holding this, if your arm gets stronger or stays strong, then that means your body wants this. This adds vitality. If your arm goes weak, it means, oh, your body doesn't really want this right now. It doesn't necessarily mean it's toxic for you. It's not toxic in general, but it might be toxic for you because you might have too much iodine or too much of the iron or something like that, so your body doesn't want it at that time. So that's kind of how I'll test my supplements after I've been taking them a while. My husband now knows how to test me, but mostly I stopped bothering him about testing. Now I go and I'm tested by my functional doctor, who I also have talked about a lot, and he tests and figures out, you know, what supplements are best for me. But so, again, I'm making quinoa bread. Let me go and get it out the oven. I'll be right back. If y'all can still hear me, let me turn this so y'all can see over here. Hi. Okay, so I'm getting my quinoa bread out the oven. This is a great gluten-free option. We have so many recipes on here on how to make quinoa bread. So if y'all haven't seen my recipes on how to make quinoa bread, just look them up. Look it up, because I have so many on here. So I'm just gonna flip this over. But anyway, what I was saying about with skin, you wanna make sure that you're not taking and using the same supplements over and over for too long, because they can start to become toxic. So let me know if you all have even heard about that or not. Let me know in the chat if you've heard that, because I was somebody in the past who literally would take the same herbs over and over and over for years on end, and that was too much for my system. It can start to be too much for your liver, things like that. So, but with sea moss, now I want to do a sea moss skin challenge. So let me know if you all, is that something that y'all be interested in doing that? Let me know, give me thumbs up or a yes ma'am in the comments if that's something, or in the live chat if that's something you all be interested in. But I just feel like it could be really good. Let me see, what does it say? I've heard all about it, but never tried it. Yeah, exactly. It's just, you've heard all about sea moss or heard about overusing supplements? Cherry, have you heard all about sea moss or heard all about what I was saying about the supplements? Anyway, you see how I did that? I just flipped it over. This is parchment paper, not wax paper. Oh, kinesiology. Yes, yes. Yes, it's look up, I want to do a video dedicated to it, but look up some videos until I do my video that's completely dedicated to how to do the testing. Look up some videos online there's different doctors that do it, that kind of show how they do it. And it's really interesting, it's powerful. And it's the way that I'm able to figure out what foods my body wants, even what lip gloss, earrings, these earrings, I had to test those too, because I'm very sensitive to metals. So right now I'm setting the timer for about 8 minutes. I'll do 9 minutes. I'm setting it for 9 minutes. But I'm very sensitive to metals, and so I even test, like, these are, solid silver, and I have some solid gold ones too, because I can't do costume jewelry. So it starts to like really irritate my skin and irritate my body. So I even muscle test those types of things, but like your shampoo, your lotion, all those different things, even if it says all natural Oh, Sweet Angel says, yes for the skin challenge. Good. Okay, good. We're going to do it. I'm going to launch it. I'll let y'all know. It'll be coming up very shortly. But all of these things that we put on our body, like I said, our skin is our biggest eliminative organ. Or not eliminated, it is our biggest eliminative organ, but it's our biggest organ in general. When I say eliminative, that means you sweat through your skin. So you can eliminate toxins via sweat. The sauna or working out is a good way to sweat. Sitting in the sauna, if it's not too much for you, depending on the health of your heart and things like that. There's different things you want to take into consideration if you're gonna sit in the sauna, and you don't want to sit in there too long. You don't want to have little children in the sauna too long because they don't handle heat as well. So just pay attention. All the things that I'm mentioning, you want to check with your doctor or just do your own research and see, is that good for you based on your health situation. But I'm just sharing my experience and what has really helped me. So using applied kinesiology and muscle response testing helps me know which herbs I should use, which herbs I shouldn't, which brings me to the herbs that I'm making right now. This is for my daughter. It's it's through Systemic Formulas Inc. But our functional doctor just found, so this is why I love this applied kinesiology. Over the past like 2 weeks, week and a half, on and off, I've been like, my daughter, she's kind of been itching back here. Her lip has been cracked. Just little things where I'm like, what's going on with her? Something's not right. So finally I reached out to him. He did some muscle response testing and was able to find that she has some issues going on with her spleen, because there's like a virus there in her spleen that somehow she contracted some kind of way. So to get it out, she needs doses of this. And so he was able, through nutrition response testing, applied kinesiology, he was able to find that the exact dose for her, how long she should be on it to get that virus out of her spleen. That's why I like that, because it's not just like, oh, usually you go to a dermatologist or something and you say, oh, my child's back is itching here and her lips are cracked. They might say, oh, she has eczema, or she has some other thing. But always, if your skin is showing you something, yeah, Sherry says, interesting, absolutely, Sherry, because if your skin is erupting in some way, it's usually letting you know that there's a toxin in your body that's having trouble getting out, and so it's manifesting on the skin. So that brings me to, like I said, I'm giving my daughter this, and then my situation. I'm gonna take this. This is what I just found from my doctor that I need for my skin, which is what kind of ignited more me wanting to do more of the skin challenge with sea moss. Is I was like, I ain't had pimples in years since I've been changing my eating and stuff, but I started to get a tender pimple like right here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but a tender pimple here, which is where I used to always get them, and then one on my jaw, which is where I used to always get them. And I was like, why am I getting a pimple? I must have been exposed to something. Also, I was having kind of felt like I was draining through my ear, throat felt kind of itchy, but I wasn't sick. And I'd wake up, kind of like feeling a plugged nostril, all these different things letting me know, now that my body's so sensitive, I can tell when I've been exposed to something. So it let me know I was exposed to something. So when I reached out to the doctor, he said he was able to figure out through testing, muscle testing, that I had absorbed a pesticide through my hands. Who knows if it was at the store, looking through fruit, who knows what it was. I did also just make some fresh applesauce. I had to peel the apples. They were supposed to be organic, but with all the wind current, sometimes pesticides can blow to organic crops. But whatever the case, I absorbed like arsenic via a pesticide, because a lot of pesticides have arsenic in it, through my hands. When I tell y'all, over this past 7 months that I've been working with this doctor, so many times I have been exposed to arsenic, either through drinking it through some type of thing via a pesticide. So say I had some type of a juice with apples or something, and I got a pesticide that way, arsenic that way. Or you can just absorb it through wood, certain wood chips. I know my daughter absorbed it through playing with wood chips at the park, stuff like that. She had absorbed it in her hands. So now, and I have let me show you what I have. At Costco, I have I get these at Costco. If you have any store like the big warehouse store like Costco, I get these gloves. It's like 400 gloves, 200 in this box, and then another box comes with it, another 200, so it's 400 total. Food prep gloves. These are nitrate, not are nitrile gloves, not latex gloves. But I try to remember to always, if I'm preparing any food, you know, obviously if I'm like washing fruit or vegetables or anything like that, I try to remember to put those gloves on because you can absorb toxins through your hands. And so that's what happened to me. So I absorbed some arsenic. Luckily, my body's getting better and better at just getting rid of toxins and letting me know right away when I've absorbed a toxin. So this arsenic, I only need 1 dose of this, a high dose of this. This is called High Pep. And let me see what's in it. I think it had like, it has chamomile in it. It has meadow sweet herb. That's something I've never had. It has some licorice root in it, stuff like that. So this is a synergistic blend. It's in tablet form. I'll show you what they look like. And I just have to take, through muscle response testing, he was able to figure out that, see, this is how it looks, that my body, I just need 1 dose of this, but at a high level. It says, did you become sensitive? Hold on. Did you become sensitive after cleansing, or were you like that before? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to get into that. So I just have to take this at 12 tablets 1 time. That's the dosage I need, and it'll flush the rest of the arsenic out. So to answer your question, Cherry, I became sensitive as I've been cleansing. So what is happening, and I did talk with the doctor about this, and he's giving me certain like homeopathic type things to help my body respond quickly to toxins so that I'm not so sensitive eventually. But what happens, there's a few things that happens. The cleaner you get, the more toxins go directly kind of into your tissues and stuff like that inside your body. So there's not a lot of layers of toxins for it to block. So it's not just going on top of another toxin, getting buried with that group of toxins. It's more like, oh, it's really getting right into certain tissues and glands and things that it wouldn't have necessarily, or cells that it wouldn't have necessarily had access to before because there was so much gunk there. But the good news is, so that's kind of like, I'm like, oh, how long is this gonna last? So the good news is that it doesn't last forever because there's different stages of health, and there's like that my doctor shares with me, so that you have like 4 levels of health. Level 4 is like the negative level. Level 1 is positive, where you want to be. So when you're at level 4, so, and within each level, there's like negative 100 and positive 100. So when you enter a level, you start from, oh, hey, S. Simone. Hello from Raleigh. Hey, North Carolina. We got somebody from South Carolina and somebody from North Carolina. Shout out to y'all. But so when you're at level 4, the lowest level of health, that's like chronic illness, a lot of severe autoimmune diseases, things like that. Negative 100, you're at the bottom, and that means when you take toxins and they get trapped and they're inhibiting functions of cells, of tissues, of glands. My quinoa bread's about to, y'all, we in here, y'all in the kitchen with me today. My quinoa bread's about to go off, so let me just come on over here. But so when that happens, all these toxins, they're inhibiting the function of glands, and your body, it's just kind of like let it. But so when you're at level 4, negative 100, stuff gets stuck. Then as you get better, you might get to level 4, positive 100 or positive 1 or something like that. Oh, there's a good question I got to get back to. Emery Salgam, why do you not eat meat? Okay, I'm going to get into all of that because my diet has actually changed. So, and I've talked about it in other videos, so I'm going to chat about that in a minute. But so to answer your question about why am I so sensitive now, I started out, when I started working with this functional doctor, I started at a level 3. So I wasn't all the way to just complete chronic illness. So this is my quinoa bread, y'all. This is a gluten-free, y'all. Can y'all see this? And I'm gonna answer your question about, you know, meat and all of that and just share with you my diet now. But so I'm gonna put this back in because to me, I want it to be a little darker. But this is gluten-free bread, just made from quinoa. Recipe is on my YouTube channel, various recipes, because there's lots of different ways you can season it and flavor it. But it's really quick. It only takes, you can do it simple with just 2 ingredients, water and quinoa, so it's really easy. Okay, let's come back over here, y'all. But so when I first started, I was at a level 3, which is like beginning stages of autoimmune disease. And so I was starting to have issues like autoimmune that I didn't realize was that. So I was allergic to stuff. When I would eat certain foods, I was like allergic, and I'm like, what's going on? I never had food allergies. You know, everything just kind of went haywire. Well, that's because I was at the beginning of autoimmune issues, level 3, like negative 86. So as I started cleansing and getting toxins out, what he found in my system was I had a lot of old heavy metals in me. I had lead, I had mercury, I had all kinds of stuff I had never heard of, gallium, chromium, all kinds of stuff in my body. A lot of it was either from absorbing it or being exposed to it, like from these routine vaccines you get when you're a child. So like at 12, I got a DTaP. I think that's like diphtheria, tetanus, some type of, and pertussis. It was something common that they would give when I was a child. So I got that. And a lot of the remnants around the vaccine, like just that are like preservatives and stuff, aluminum, all that was in that vaccine. And so he found that that was just stuck kind of in different places in my body wherever I was weak. So, stuff in my head and my gut and my ovary on my right side, stuff like that. So as that starts to detox, I'm moving up the levels, but there's still level 3 of health. You still have stuff getting trapped. So now I'm at like level 2, like positive 46. You want to get to level 1, level 100. That means when you take in a toxin, it just goes right out. You take in a toxin, your body knows what to do. It just gets it out. I'm at level 2 where my body stuff gets in and it still kind of might be stuck a little bit. So, but I'm less toxic than I was before. So when I take something in, I can feel it more because it's getting more absorbed directly into my tissue, as opposed to just going in, staying in some other place with a lot of gunk and just continuing to further inhibit function. What this is doing is going in and I'm feeling it more because my system is more clean, but it's not clean enough to just go in and go right out easily. So to answer the question, I think that was you, Cherry, that had the question. I did become more sensitive as I'm more and more clean, but it's kind of like, I know exactly right. The good thing is before I didn't know I was getting toxins. I was exposed to toxins all the time and I never knew because I just felt the same as I always felt. But now as soon as I'm exposed, I'm like, oop, like I can eat something and I'll start to feel my heart palpitate and I'm like, this had something in it. And then, that a lot of times that will just go away quickly. But like one time I was at a restaurant, I thought I had got some healthy, like stir-fried dish that I was very specific about it. I didn't want this type of oil, all that. And I still ended up, I ate that and I was like, I asked the waiter, I was like, can you ask the chef? As soon as I ate it, I had heart palpitation. I said, can you ask the chef if this has MSG in it? And they were like, oh yeah, it does. The sauce they used had MSG. I knew right away. So that's the good thing. Whereas before I probably would have ate it and wouldn't have felt that right away, but I probably would have woke up with a headache the next day because MSG always used to do that to me. So Cherry says, great. You are getting the rewards from your efforts. Keep it up as you continue to share. We appreciate you. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah. So I just praise God, and I have to remember to be patient because I'm just like, okay, can I be fully at level 100 right now? So just be patient, enjoy the journey. And that's what I'm trying to do. But to answer the question, I was at Emre, let me see who said, Amre, who said, why do you not eat meat? So I, for a long time, did not eat any animal-based products I did it on and off for years, but I'd say there was probably a 2-year period where I didn't do, just recently, where I wasn't eating any animal-based stuff at all. And I felt like the only way to heal was to completely eliminate animal products. And so that's what I did. But if you watch some of my videos that say, healing isn't one size fits all. I have some different live streams where I share about that. I share about a health crisis that I encountered about a year and a half or so ago. And that was when I was doing water fasts and, mono fruit fast and all this. But what was happening is my body had gotten very depleted and all these toxins were coming out, but didn't know how to get out. They were coming up, but my body didn't have the correct like herbal formula to flush it out. And so I was just using like generic herbal formulas because that's all I knew about. Now that I found the doctor that I found that I work with, he's able to find what layer of toxins is your body ready to detox. And if it's going to detox it, how are we going to get it out safely? Because if you start, for example, pulling boric acid out of your head, which I had to do from a back in the relaxer, a relaxer from when I was 17 years old, boric acid in my head. And so he was just saying we have to be very careful getting this boric acid out. And he's able to find all these things through applied kinesiology, muscle response testing. If you're just joining, that's what he uses. And quantum physics and stuff. He's using all of that science to find out how these toxins got in and how to get them out. He was like, you have to be careful getting this boric acid out because it's so acidic. Now that it's going to start traveling out, he was going to get it out via my kidney, because you have different ways you can eliminate toxins: the kidney, the liver, the skin, or you can expel toxins through your lungs, like breathing it out if you've inhaled gases. And so with this boric acid, he had to find the right herbs to protect all the different arteries it was going to come through, to protect the ureter down here, for urinating it out, and to protect the kidneys, which herbs. And so he goes through and systematically finds what herbs will work synergistically together the body as these acids come out. When I was detoxing before and just eating all fruit and doing juices and doing water fast, taking just generic herbs that I know, oh, this herb is good for the lymphatic system, this herb is good for the kidneys, but I didn't know what my body needed. All these toxins were coming up and they were wreaking havoc on my system because I was detoxing too fast without the right herbal support. And also after a while I went raw and all fruit and water for too long, and I got severely underweight. And so, long story short, I say all this to say that I ended up adding back in certain animal products via this doctor's recommendation. And also just before I even met him, just to kind of test what should I be doing, I tried it and then I was like, ugh, no, I'm not going to do that. I stopped and then added it back in when I met with him, and he started muscle testing, realizing your body wants that right now. So there's certain vitamins and minerals that I was depleted of. So if I do have meat, I make sure that it is organic and free range, hormone free, and I just don't have it like in huge amounts, but I still have lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. But that's something that I did add back into my diet. But I was always oh, hey. Oh, hi, Chiamaka. Hey. Yes, Sweet Angel says, I need a doctor like that. I feel you. But for a long time, I thought y'all couldn't have told me anything different other than that I thought you only could heal eating fruits, vegetables, and, just raw. I thought that was the way to heal. But I've now, God's really opened my eyes now to show me that if you're eating things that are pure and not adulterated, so if you're gonna have, say, chicken, it needs to be organic, it needs to be free range, it needs to be hormone. I do that right now. First, my body wants it. So I'll have, let's say, 2 ounces of that. And I just eat lots of vegetables with it. I eat lots of quinoa. But speaking of quinoa, let me get my quinoa bread out before it burns up. If y'all can't tell, I can run my mouth. But yeah, I think it's ready now. So see, it's my quinoa bread. And I just use a pizza slicer and slice it. And sometimes I use this as a pizza crust as well. But so now I realize that Cherry says, what would you suggest if we don't have a doctor with that specialty in our country and you want to start on a cleansing journey? Great question. I will share with you that. So that is the main thing with why I do now eat some animal products, but I'm very picky. I'm not really big on beef right now. I just feel like it takes my body a long time to digest it, so I don't really do beef. I just will do like the organic, free-range, hormone-free chicken. I'll do organic, free-range, hormone-free eggs, and that's pretty much it. I did do fish for a little bit. I haven't had it for a while. I kind of felt like my body was reacting to it. There's a certain time period I didn't want fish, and that's what I'm saying. Listen to what your body wants. I feel that our diet should be dynamic, and sometimes you do need to be plant-based. That if you're trying to detox something really tough, your body might really be calling for no meats to digest. even if they're the cleanest meats and you done raise that chicken by yourself, you know, out in the wilderness. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes your body just doesn't want that protein because that can be harder to digest. It just depends on your body. But with muscle response testing and applied kinesiology, your body will tell you. All you got to do, and this is what I did many times. This plate is empty, but what I did many times when I was first starting out and my body was so sensitive to everything I ate. I literally could only eat 3 foods when I first started on this journey and added meat back in. I added meat back in because all the plant-based foods I was sensitive to all of a sudden. I couldn't have quinoa back then. I couldn't have avocado anymore. That was how I was like keeping any semblance of weight on my body. So anyway, you just have a plate of food, and what I would do is I would put my meal on this plate, hold it up to me, and put my arm out. My husband knew the sensitivity and how to test, and he would push down to see if the plate would make my arm go weak or if it made it stronger. And I mean, sometimes if I didn't have any meat on the plate, my arm would be weak. Add 1 little 2-ounce piece of meat and my arm would go rock hard strong. And when it goes strong like that, it means that plate of food is adding vitality. When it goes weak, it means nope, it's actually hurting you. You need something else. And so sometimes it would be so sensitive that I might have like a salad or something, and like I take 1 leaf off and my arm would get strong, but it would be weak with that leaf on. That's how intelligent God has designed our bodies to be, to know exactly the amount of nutrients it needs and doesn't need. So that's what I was doing when I was chronically like on weight, couldn't figure out how to gain weight, all of that. So adding back in, first of all, with the doctor, I'm going to answer that question about what do you do if you can't find a doctor like that. I got an answer for y'all. That might surprise you. But anyway, adding all these different foods in that I wasn't eating before, it didn't really help until I started getting the toxins out that were causing the issue. My issue for being underweight was I was not absorbing nutrients like I needed to. So I was absorbing only, like, I think 34% of the nutrients from the foods that I was eating. So once I started to clean out all those old metals, I had mercury lining my gut. That's what he found, was just old mercury from that vaccine when I was 12 lining my gut. Once we got that out, and once he fixed my gut microbiome, so if you see, I have a video series on here called Gut Health or Healing Your Gut. I had to start adding in the right type of probiotic, eating probiotic foods. I'll show you some of those foods that I eat. Y'all, this is supposed to be about sea moss and skin, but all of this matters as far as healing. But I started adding in probiotic foods. Once he got my gut microbiome, which means the colonization of good bacteria, bad bacteria, once he got that balance right and got my gut microbiome, our gut flora healthy, y'all, I went from not being able to gain any weight. I was eating wild rice. My husband was like, if I ate that much wild rice, I would be big as a house. I was eating like 4 cups of wild rice trying to gain weight. I wouldn't gain anything. It would be like I ate air, okay? As soon as I got my gut, got some of those toxins, gut mercury, I was able to, like, I started adding weight without effort. I could eat a normal amount of wild rice and just add weight normally instead of eating 4 cups of it without adding any weight. So I got to where, so now I'm back up. I've gained probably like 25 pounds now. So I'm back to my normal weight because I've always been kind of underweight, you know. CO says, loving the information, it is definitely needed. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that it's helping you. It's really just been a blessing to find the information that I've been able to find through the doctor that I work with, and also just through research and all of that. So purple sauerkraut is a good probiotic food to help, you know, just to help put good bacteria into your gut. So I use this purple sauerkraut. But so about the doctor, let me get back to that. So y'all, the doctor that I work with, anybody who would want to work with him actually could work with him, but you know, you just have to reach out. If you reach out to me via email, I can send you the information if you would be interested. If you're in, like you said, in a different country. I was at Cherry, who you asked if you're in a different country. I think you said you're from Trinidad, and you might not have someone there who does that type of healing. So the good thing about my doctor, this muscle response testing, he's able to, using like quantum physics and stuff like that, is deep. I don't quite understand it, but he is able to, through quantum physics and stuff like that, still be able to do testing even virtually. Deep, okay, deep. But so he, a lot of the stuff, when he's helping me with certain things, I'll just email a question and he's able to, through quantum physics, quantum entanglement, all this different stuff, he's able to figure out what I need. So I don't know how to do it. He knows how to do that. But if you have somebody with you and you don't want to work with him, and you know, whatever your reasons may be, you can just try to look up different videos online about how to do applied kinesiology. And if you have a neighbor, a friend, a husband, a wife, you know, a significant other that is just with you, and figure out that right pressure and how to resist. And it takes a little bit. It's not just push your arm down. You have to really get the right pressure so that you're really making sure that it's your body's energy and the nervous system's response that is giving the answer, and not you just like somebody just manhandling you, you know. So that's why it really is good to work with someone trained. But my husband was able to get the feel of it down. I still don't have the feel of it to test somebody else, but he was able to get the feel of it to test me. And if I had to, I could get the feel of it, but I was the one sick, so he was always testing me, and he was able to figure it out. And he was all, hopefully that answers your question. So long story short, if you would like to work with that doctor that I work with, if you're interested in even like doing like a consultation with him, reach out to me, email me, and I can send you his information privately. Okay, I think I saw one more thing, and then I am gonna have to hop off soon. But the one thing that I wanted to come on originally about is talk about CMOS and doing like a skin challenge. So I wanted to know if y'all are into that, if y'all would be interested. And I did get some yeses from you, so that's good to know. I want to do that. I use Derek product CMOS. This is the CMOS powder. I've been using that. And then here I got me a pound of CMOS. Is this my purple? Yes, this is my purple. Yes, this is my purple CMOS. So I still need to make some of that. Thought you were supposed to talk about CMOS in and go with the flow. Hold on, let me see. What does this person say? Sorry, I can't see it. Let me see. I'm trying to bring up. Okay. Cherry, thought you were supposed to talk about CMOS in ENT. Go with the flow. Yeah, I think you're saying talk about CMOS and go with the flow. I think I did say that at the beginning. So that's what I'm doing. But let me know if there's something that you're asking for more that you'd like me to talk about before I step off Cherry. But yeah, so I need to make some purple sea moss gel. That's my favorite gel for my skin. I also have the gold sea moss. But then right now what I was gonna do is make my daughter's herbs, because she's having some issues that she just needs to detox a little something. So I'm gonna make this, and what I do is I take a little 4-ounce mason jar, and what the doctor found is she needs 7 squirts of this once a day for 7 days. And then the virus that got into her spleen will be gone. So that's what I'm gonna do. Who says this? NTWA, hold on, says, they've never sent me a nice, let me see. They never sent me a nice bag like that for my pound of sea moss. Oh, right. You know what? This was during like a promotional time when they had these. So this is like, I just stocked up and kept them all. Because there was a time period where I think they got these in. And so they were sending out the pounds of sea moss in these. And then now I think they might be gone. So, but reach out and ask about it. Be like, can I get my pound of sea moss in that? And maybe if I do like a giveaway or something, I could send for my next, because we're getting to 50,000 subscribers. So for my next subscriber giveaway, maybe I can send y'all one of my bags, because I have like 3 of them, I think, from back then. But yeah, so this here, you see it just says 7 squirts. So I'm just gonna put 7 squirts into this mason jar, and then I'll show you what I do after that. So let me make sure I'm counting, y'all. That's 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, okay, and then 7. So yeah, so then with that, after I have it in here, You see, it doesn't take up that much room, and that would be very concentrated for my daughter to drink. So what I do, says a couple of my friends probably subscribe by now. Oh, great. um, so then what I do is just take like some spring water and just fill this up. So now I'm gonna dilute it with spring water. Sometimes I'll also dilute it with a little bit of coconut water for my daughter, just to make it sweet. But now she's so used to the taste of herbs that she doesn't really care. She'd be like, oh, this is good. Um, so anyway, so then and I'm gonna come over here. I'll just run in here real quick. And then I just take the airtight lid. So this is the type of stuff that if you were making your own jelly or something, you would put it in this, and it's like airtight, so it helps it to keep. So then I just put it in that, and you keep it in a cool, dark place. So I just keep it, there's a little section in my refrigerator for her herbs that I just keep it there. So I'm just gonna have it there for her. She takes that 7 days, and then that, whatever she contracted there in her spleen will be gone, and the symptoms will go away. And when I tell you, doing this type of testing, the stuff that I've been doing, working with this doctor, when I have any issue and I reach out to him, he finds what my body wants to get that out. And I mean, the symptoms sometimes are instant. It's like sometimes instantly it goes away. As soon as sometimes it'll be an essential oil. Like I was having some issues, feeling really achy. I had like chills and stuff. Well, my body was ready to get rid of this bacteria that I had in me from back when I was 21 years old. It's now coming out as I'm starting to get more and more clean. My body's, that's another layer of the onion peeled back. My body's like, okay, we can get to this. This has been buried in there. So I started feeling like that, but I didn't feel sick. I didn't have a sore throat or anything. I just had chills and I was just achy. Well, he was like, what the doctor found is do 20 drops of peppermint oil. And I'm like, okay, that's what I've naturally been wanting to use. I just would put peppermint oil on my temples, but he's like 20 drops of peppermint oil on your lower back. When I put, and then he also prescribed another herb, like it was an herb that had like milk thistle. It was like a synergistic blend, milk thistle. So I put that peppermint on and then went to go pick up the herbal blend that he had suggested on the way back. So this was literally just like a 10-minute period, and it was like on the way back from getting this herbal supplement, just having the peppermint, not even taking the supplement yet, I felt better. This brain fog lifted, the chills started to go away, the achiness started to go away. And then by the time I took the supplement, felt way better. So it just shows you the power of just listening to what your body needs, using something innate that God put into our bodies to be able to communicate with us. Like basically our body's intelligence is able to tell us what it needs via food, via herbs, via drink, anything. It's able to tell you what it needs, even what type of workout you should do, things like that. There's all kinds of things you can do just using muscle response testing. So anywho, I am probably going to jump off. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of you all's questions. But since you let me know that you all are interested in definitely doing the Skin Glow Challenge, I want us to do that. And I think the good thing about it is this is the thing you need to understand. Where like with sea moss and skin, and I have an affiliate link for the sea moss. If you want to get the sea moss, I'll link to that. It's already in the description box of this video right now, but I also will link it in the pinned comment once the video goes on replay. So if you've missed some of this, watch on replay. And I saw somebody had a question, so I'll put it on. But this is the thing. Let me look and see if I read this. Let me see. I have had depression, fatigue, poor eyesight, weak bones, acid reflux, low vitamin D, gum problems for a while now. I noticed that meat and gluten will make me feel even really bad. Oh yeah, that is, ooh, the gums thing. I had that happening. I had something going on with my gums. That was the last thing that just happened like last month for my visit. And he was able to connect that to something from my gums and my teeth to my adrenal gland. Isn't that crazy? And so that pain that I was having in my tooth and in my gum, as he started to get rid of the thing that I needed to detox, it took about 3 or 4 days. I started to feel my tooth and my gum started to feel better. I also had some chromium trapped in my gums. What? You see what I'm saying? So when with what you're describing, depression, fatigue, all of those things, usually gut health is number one. Got to get the gut straight. And then also there's probably some toxins built up in your body. So do you think I need a herbal cleanse? Absolutely. Absolutely, Jasper. Is that Jasper? Absolutely. Um, but the thing is you need to do it safely, because if you just jumped on, I talked about how I was trying to do my own, figure out my own herbal cleanse about year and a half or so ago, and I was doing water fasts and taking all these different herbs just based off of, oh, this is good for the kidneys, oh, this herb is good for the skin, oh, this herb, just off of my own knowledge. And it's like it was too much for my body. And so you want to work with the trained practitioner, herbalist who understands, and use muscle response testing to see what your body is ready to detox at what time. Because you can start stirring up a lot of stuff and make yourself feel worse. So if you want to go slow, start to pay attention to what you're eating, eliminate certain toxic things. If you're eating corn in the US, you probably we want to stop that general with U.S. corn, because our corn is so GMO. A lot of times it's gonna mess up your gut. It's gonna mess you up, and you don't even realize that it might be the corn messing you up. And corn is in everything. It's in everything. Because you got corn starch, you got corn syrup, you got all kinds of different. So it's in stuff that you don't even realize. So you have to read labels. Um, but I was gonna say, with the skin glow challenge, the good thing is we think that we're just doing something for our skin, but the skin reflects how your body is doing. So that's why if you're having issues with your liver, things like that, a lot of times you'll have scaly skin, things like that. Oh, Jasper says you're from the UK. Yeah, there might be some practitioners in your area. If not, like I said earlier, the doctor I work with does do virtual visits, and he's very effective. So you could maybe set up a consultation. Just reach out to me, email me, and I can send you his information privately. If you're interested in that, I just don't want to like overwhelm him. So it's like, if you reach out to me, I can send it to you, and you can reach out to their office. Um, but yeah, so if your skin is looking good, really, not all the time, because I know some people with really beautiful skin, but they're not really that healthy. But for me, my skin has always told the truth about what's going on inside most of the time. So it's like, growing up all through my teenage years or time, but the skin glow challenge, it might seem like it's vain, but it's actually not vain. It's really a way to get healthy, because when you feel good, like how was that, let me make sure I get the name right. Was it, I can't remember exactly who had said that they were feeling, yes, Jasper, you said that you had been having depression, all these things. You know how it is, right? And I experienced that when I had my crash about a year and a half ago. When I say crash, my health crash, from too much detoxing without the right skilled help. Um, what I find, really, you're not living in your purpose. You're not living a fulfilled life when you don't feel well. So it's best to do what you can to get to optimal health, so that you can do what God put you here to do and figure out what your purpose is. Because a lot of times when you have anxiety or depression, or you're just in pain, you you don't feel like doing anything. For me, I didn't feel like, all I wanted to know was, okay, God, please just give me the strength to just get myself together enough so I can provide for my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, get her food that she needs, and try to have her have a good day. But all of that seemed like so much work. Like, even make it, like, y'all see, I just made some quinoa bread. So y'all who have been on here, I made some quinoa bread. Even coming down to the kitchen to make this would have just felt like, oh, how am I gonna do that? And this is the easiest bread recipe, you know? So it's like, when you don't feel well, it's just hard to just be in your purpose. And so my passion for sharing with all of you comes from knowing what that's like. Oh, thank you so much, Sapphire Diamond Pearls. But my passion is just sharing with you, because I know what it's like to just feel so lethargic, so just like, how am I going to make it when your body is out of balance, you know? And I still have ups and downs, but in general, I'm so much better. I'm so much better. And I know I'm continuing to get better. I just have faith. Finding the doctor I found was absolutely an answer to prayer. because I had just prayed and asked God, you got to help me find somebody that can help me, because I'm doing everything I know how to do. Like I said, at that point, I was all raw. I was doing water fast. I was on every herb known. That's what it felt like to me, but it didn't matter. It's like I was just going down, down, down. And so you get with someone skilled who knows what they're doing, they can do what your body can handle at that time, because you don't want to get on, sometimes getting on super strong herbs might be really bad for your liver. It might be too much for your liver at that time. So your body will, using applied kinesiology and muscle response testing, your body is intelligent and knows exactly what you can handle. And so if you do this, the muscle response testing, and your arm goes weak holding a type of herb, then it's like, that herb today, I can't take that. Cherry has it. Did you do coffee enemas at that time? No, I didn't. But you know what though? My mom did do the Gerson therapy. If you're familiar with the Gerson therapy, she did that. Oh man, it's been about 10 years ago, to heal from lupus. She had, her kidneys were basically going down. The lupus, the autoimmune disease lupus. Okay, the Gerson therapy. The autoimmune disease lupus for my mother was attacking her kidneys. And so her kidney function was down to 55%. She did a modified version of the Gerson therapy 10 years ago. This is before I knew any of this stuff, but that was one way that I started to see the power of natural healing using nature. She did the Gerson therapy using coffee enemas. She did a modified version of the Gerson therapy, and her kidney function within a 9-month period, I believe, went from 55% to 125%. How is that possible? Well, her kidneys were functioning like she was 18, but she was well over 18. So it was like basically her kidneys were functioning above what they should have been for her age. And so the kidney specialist was like, your kidneys are functioning at 125%. They went from 55 to 125. So that worked for her. She was also with the Gerson therapy. It's juicing. It's a plant-based diet. It's a lot of, except for it does include like liver glandulars, and things like that to kind of help support the liver, which is detoxing. And she worked directly with the clinic virtually, sending her lab tests and stuff to them. And then they were able to give her like their recommended modified version, since Gerson therapy generally is usually for people with cancer. So it's very like lots of juices a day, lots of enemas a day. She did a much less condensed form of that, less juices, less enemas, but it still really helped her. But it was still very intense to do. It was a lot of prep. So the thing I like about what I'm doing now, and I think this would have helped her back then, the doctor we're working with, my parents work with this doctor as well, is it's not so intensive like the Gerson therapy. But depending on where your body's at, sometimes that might be what you need, So I just feel healing is dynamic. I don't believe, which I used to believe, that it was one size fits all. You had to be raw, you had to be all plant-based. I now realize what our body needs goes up and down. It's not, so I'm not dogmatic like I used to be. I used to feel like, oh, you can never have any type of meat. The only thing I feel very strongly about is that you need to make sure that you're not taking in foods that are like toxic. When I say toxic, I mean pesticides and all these, super processed with dyes and coloring and all that stuff. Those types of things are just more toxins added to your body. Those are the things that I'm very, very cautious about as much as I can be, because I just feel like a lot of foods are very toxic and full of chemicals, and the body doesn't know what to do with that. Other than that, now I realize as long as it's whole foods, I believe in like, I've come up with the title of dynamic whole foods diet. I believe as long as your diet is whole and pure foods, it should be dynamic, meaning it goes up and down, it changes, it's not static, it's not always the same. What your body's gonna need from day to day, month to month, year to year is gonna change depending on what type of environmental stressors that you're encountering. So that's what I've come to realize. And so it's shifted my whole view, because I used to think there was only one way to heal, and that was all raw and that was all juice. But I'll tell you one thing, when I switched from that to still a whole diet and using herbs, but when I switched from that and got my gut in order and things like that, that's when I started healing. And I was like, oh, okay, guess I was wrong about that. So Cherry says, thank you so much for the information. You covered a lot. Oh, you're welcome. Well, praise God. I'm so happy that I was able to jump on and share with you all. And thank you all for your feedback. And like I said, I'll link to where I get my sea moss powder and also my sea moss in this bag. I know was that NTWA was like, where'd you get that bag? But yeah, this is the purple sea moss. I'll link to where I get that because I am going to be doing that sea moss challenge. So I want us to all be stocked up on our sea moss. And then I have lots of videos. I have a series called All Things Sea Moss. So so All Things Sea Moss shares how to make sea moss, how to properly clean your sea moss, things like that. And so now I even wear these gloves when I'm preparing and washing my sea moss when I first wash it. You know, because sometimes they do pre-clean some of the sea moss, but some of it's cleaner than the other. But I always clean my sea moss so thoroughly because it's from the sea, so it has lots of different bacteria, stuff like that. You want to get that off. So watch my video on how to properly wash and soak your sea moss. I have, like I said, that series All Things Sea Moss shares how to make purple sea moss, how to make gold sea moss, how to just all kinds of stuff. I have make sea moss cheese, all over the place. It's just like over 20 videos on stuff about sea moss, different ways to use sea moss. Oh yeah, NTWA says they have the cleanest sea moss that I bought from anyone. Yeah, I found that, especially their gold sea moss is sometimes really, really clean. The purple one sometimes might have a little more mineralization, kind of like the real fine salt on there from being dried in the sun. I'll sometimes see that on the purple and sometimes on the gold, but not that thick brine type salt that comes from the farm sea moss. But yeah, their sea moss is really potent. I mean, I've had some crazy results using theirs different times. So I highly recommend it. And they got lots of products. I just put a video up the other day on their pain relief bundles and stuff that they have, like using copaiba, which is like a CBD type oil, and moringa oil, really good for anti-inflammatory if you're having any pain issues, joint issues, arthritis, things like that. Also really good for anxiety and relaxing. And also, you already know I always talk about these EMF rocks I use. I always carry these on me. This is in my pocket right now. This is I think there's a link in the description box. I'll link to it. But I use these to protect myself from cell phone radiation because I'm on my cell phone a lot. I'm using my cell phone to record this video, and those direct one directional waves really interrupt the body's flow. So I try to really, oh, you're welcome. Video Reload says, thank you for your presentation, sister. Oh, God bless you. You're welcome. I'm just happy that I can get on here and talk with y'all. But I like to use these EMF rocks to protect from cell phone radiation. I have some videos about that, how radiation was disturbing my daughter's sleep and how it was causing heart palpitations with me. So much information, but it's time for me to sign off, and I'll come on and try to do a live again very soon. And I'm going to be posting videos. My plan is to post on Sundays, do CMOS Sundays, where I'm posting different CMOS, like deluxe recipes for smoothies, things like that. And then also I want to launch and announce the CMOS challenge for the skin glow, so we can get our skin looking good. Because like I said, if your skin is glowing, that means your body is definitely happy on the inside, because the skin reflects very much so what's happening inside. So if you're having eruptions and things like that going on with your skin, that means something's not happy inside. It could be your liver, it could be some liver detoxes a lot and has a lot of burden for toxins. So a lot of times if your liver is stressed, your skin will show up in some kind of way. And so that's another thing. Before I started working with this doctor, I had this skin was all crusty on my hand, and on the inside of my hands was just like, this was really crusty and darker than the other part of my skin, and just hard. And that was, I believe, from my liver, just being overtaxed from all the detoxing I was doing without any support. And so without the right support, I was taking herbs, but not the herbs my body wanted. Applied kinesiology, muscle response testing is how all of that has gotten solved for me. So like I said, if you are interested in working with the doctor I work with, if you're really serious about that and you don't have someone in your area who does nutrition response testing using applied kinesiology, then you can email me and I can send you the information privately to reach out and see if that doctor would be a fit for you, because he does do virtual visits and he's very effective with those. I have family from out of town that works with him as well. and they have been getting great results. So anyway, I'm Timotha Lanae. Like this video if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't, share if you haven't. This will be on the replay, so if you've missed anything, you can watch it again and take notes or whatever. And let me know in the comments any video ideas that you'd like to see me do in the future. I'm Timotha Lanae. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. God bless. See you in the next video.